Always a great day when you can come out and get better, or at least feel like your team has gotten better or improved. Our guys have worked hard tremendously from this point on. We got here June 1st through probably September 22nd. And we were more importantly worried about assimilation, getting guys together, making sure they fall into the culture and everything else. Right now we're in the phase of fighting focus, trying to galvanize everything that we're doing, making sure we're getting on the same page, obviously getting into game prep, game form, game preparation. I'm just thankful for all our content creators, the media, the scouts from several NBA teams for at least coming out, looking under the hood to see what we have versus waiting for the games. And I owe these players a responsibility, and that's to protect their pro careers, but also push them. And I think that's what today was about.
All right, questions?
Go ahead.
Coach, what was a day like today, this kind of event, important for the program?
Pro Day is important for the program because during the recruiting process, I sit there and talk about development. So these guys have a file that the NBA keep, and that file represents their growth. Whether they've been with me or another coach, they're now a part of my program forever, and I want to make sure I build on to their files, making sure they have an opportunity to not only get a job but keep a job. And that comes down to personality, characteristics, character, as well as skill development, but also the disposition that they play with. That's why it's important.
Have you done a pro day like this before? I mean, did you learn anything from this that you guys will change maybe next year?
So the one thing I want to credit is this. I tasked our GM, Tim Fuller, our assistant GM, Brendan Simberg, with the task of growing this thing compared to what I was able to do on my own. And when you have a staff to be able to concentrate on, small tasks like this, they can put more time into it, whereas I can now just concentrate hands-on the thing. So I credit our staff, especially our GM, Tim Fuller, for today's outpour and obviously today's work. I thought our players also have done a great job preparing themselves, and it's one of those things where it's all hands on deck. So specifically sitting back, organizing it, giving the task, and seeing it come to fruition is a very important thing.
Dennis, all the time you've been able to spend since June, like you said, I mean, do you feel like now you go into, the official start of practice in the season already with kind of a pretty good idea of what you have?
I have an idea based off the recruiting, right? We go from paper, the roster on paper, what we were able to put together before June 1st, and then obviously once these guys move on campus and you have your team, you get behind closed doors, team building with Dr. Joe Carr, and we get to see what we need and what I need to improve on as a leader and as a head coach. I'm thankful these guys allow me to push them, but I'm also thankful they allow each other some space to push and pull each other in the right direction, and that's always needed. We're in a phase now where we have to produce our execution, our playing style, offensively and defensively, and that's where our staff, I'm impressed with what they've been doing so far, and it's just being able to put everything on one page and making sure these guys move in the right direction.
Coach, what's impressed you the most with the way this group has came together this summer?
What's impressed me the most with our group, you have first-year guys not only entering our program as freshmen, but also sophomores, juniors, and seniors, and to see our returning nucleus be able to lead in a way that eliminates a coach from having to direct these guys in every form of their transition. So what I see is leadership, the growth of Ant Robinson and Mark Mitchell, but also you look at T.O. Barrett, you look at Honor Boateng, you look at Trent Burns. Those guys are freshmen becoming sophomores. They have wisdom that they can give a first-year guy based off their experience. Now you look at our other guys that's returning, Trent Pierce, you look at Jacob Cruz. Those guys are elite at what they do, and we want them to continue to move our program in the right direction, and I'm happy with what I've seen.
Dennis, with Ant, what do you think is the next step of growth for him, and what have you seen him do this offseason?
Ant Robinson I truly believe has been playing basketball in a desperate space, trying to cut out time for himself, trying to earn minutes. Although he was not on one practice first team, he was still a starter last season. And now that leadership that I put him in has allowed him to be in this space now. I want to see him take more shots. That'll come by the minute increase. He and Mark Mitchell has to lead this team in minutes played per game. And if they do their jobs, I believe our nucleus will be able, meaning the leadership, will be able to move the body, and our body needs to follow seamlessly.
Coach, with his three-point shooting volume was relatively the same as it was his freshman year
Yeah.
on a per-game basis, but his percentage went way up. What changes did you see there? What developments did you see that they could carry over?
Well, the most important thing is trusting himself, trusting what he's been able to do. He's been a freshman, and we know that that transition was a big jump from freshman to sophomore year. If he can make another jump like that, I believe that's what these pro scouts are wanting to see, and he'll end up being a professional basketball player. But before that, his team will win a lot of games, and we need him to be able to take away from Caleb Grill and Tamar Bates' graduation. He'll be able to now get a volume of three-point shots and attempts, but also the minutes. That is the most important part. He has to stay out of foul trouble, which I think he'll do, but he'll be able to play a volume of minutes that'll allow us to go in the right direction.
You mentioned Trent Burns. What can you tell us about kind of where he's at and where you think he'll be at?
Well, Trent Burns, it's the same statement that came out. His return to play protocol, he's already in it. It's great to see him do his rehab where there's jogging, light running, things like that. He's on the treadmill. I trust our trainers. I trust our strength and conditioning coach, but I also trust Trent. The only person that knows how they feel is Trent Burns. And ultimately, he's still targeted to play in that first game or at least around that area.
Coach, what has stood out about some of the newcomers that y'all brought in this offseason?
Oh, you name one, I can tell you about him.
How about Sean Phillips?
Sean Phillips is a veteran in the SEC. You look at what he's done as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and this is his fourth year. He gives us a vertical threat around the rim, a shot blocker, but also a guy with elite athleticism and elite rebounding per minute. He's playing in a new system, so that'll take some adjustment, but I'm excited with what I see, but also how he's responding to his teammates.
What about Sebastian Mack and just the physicality he had?
Yeah, Sebastian Mack is, along with Ant Robinson and Mark Mitchell, as one of the top college players to draw fouls off the dribble. He's an elite free throw attempts guy. He can get downhill, but he's a three-level scorer. What I do want him to do is get more comfortable. You saw him in his actions now. He has to learn to play with a little more pace, stop and go versus just one speed. And he's doing a tremendous job assimilating to our culture.
Clearly attacking closeouts and making decisions.
What was that?
Attacking closeouts, making decisions is a big emphasis of yours.
Yeah. So being able to attack closeouts and get to the foul line, more importantly, we want to play with space. We have a 5-out offense. I want these guys to be able to play with their instincts, but more importantly, play with our system. Our system is in place for a reason. It's the shell at which they can move and navigate. Now I want them to be able to read the defense, but allow that to do so with patience. And I think that's where a room or area that we have to grow in. Whereas, later in the season, I think our patience offensively is not where it needs to be.
Fast but patient.
Huh?
Fast but patient.
Fast but patient. I want to continue to take care of the basketball, which our guys are doing, and we play with elite pace. Transition volume rate is something that we concentrate on, but we want shots before turnovers.
I know you can't mention anybody by name, but just coming off an NCAA tournament, the summer, hitting the portal, the summer you guys have had, do you sense some momentum around here that maybe is at a higher level?
I sense the momentum of our crowd, our fans, our former players, our former alumni, and obviously current, right? What takes place is you look at what we're doing across our athletic department. That logo carries in every sport, whether it's what gymnastics has done, whether it's what Don Sullivan is doing with volleyball, Eli Drinkowicz, football. I'm excited to be a part of this athletic department because when you can bring recruits on campus to watch a football game, when they start to talk about, hey, your gymnastics finished in the top right of the country, or even your volleyball team is elite, that gives us an identity across the grid, nationally and internationally. And I want that to always carry. I'm thankful for what our fans continue to do, whether it be on social media, the positivity that they bring whenever they post. It's not a negative, toxic environment. I want to credit them. I want to credit our fans that show up in the stands, whether they're driving from north or even down from the Blue Hills, from Kansas City to St. Louis. They're coming and sacrificing time to be in this arena, especially when you look at what we were able to do last season. And then our student body. They're as electric as any student body in the country. They sleep outside overnight. And when they have allowed this environment to be what it is with their energy and enthusiasm, being able to have 3 top 5 victories last season, 2 of them at home, is tremendous. And our momentum allows other programs in our department to lead. It allows them to take visits and obviously host. I'm thankful for our leadership, President Moon Choi, and obviously our athletic director, Larry Veach, for their wisdom and what they do. And at that point, you look at our board of curators, they've done a great job.
Coach, just having a full offseason with Tim here, what parts of your job have gotten Mizzou now that he's been here?
Well, it never gets easy. I still have to lead, manage, and do so. But these guys lift the load off my shoulders where I can fully concentrate and invest in what I need to invest in when these details come out of need. What he has traditionally done, when you look at his background, whether it's working with Nike, whether it's being a full-time assistant, whether it's being an interim head coach, whether it's being an executive at Overtime Elite, right? He's done this at a magnitude where branding meets name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness and branding meets current team, and that helps facilitate and drive ticket sales, that drives fan engagement, that drives everything under the sun. And having media here to narrate and tell the story, not only with TV channels, but you look at the local media and what they've been able to do. We have social media presence here. I think that is a new element in branding that you have to kind of use and create. So I'm thankful of what Tim Fuller has brought to our program, to our team. I'm thankful how our players have responded, but I'm thankful to be the head coach here in Missouri.
One last question. With Nicholas and Aaron, just how have they adjusted so far, and where do they need to grow right now?
Well, both are running different races. Nicholas Randall, tremendous high school player, as well as Aaron Rowe, but they got 2 different paths, 2 different positions. So the pressure that I'm putting on Aaron Rowe is elite to the pressure and similar to the pressure that I put on Ant Robinson as a freshman. He can do nothing right in practice. I am going to push him as a leader down the road, but not immediately. Right? Nicholas Randall has to be ready to go. Whatever that is, whatever that means, on and off the court. But both of those guys come from great AAU programs. Their AAU programs have done a great job. Their high school programs have done a great job. They've had great players and great coaches in their lives. So I'm very thankful of those guys choosing Missouri, choosing me to be their coach, but also trusting. These guys are trusting, and I'm excited to coach them, and I'm excited to see where their future goes.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, MIZ.